This
Now I'm
is
not doing
live
the
dugout.
introduction.
This is live dugout. Take 10. We've tried doing this multiple times from remote locations, central Delhi, close to Ministry, top of the roof, from the helicopter, from some corner. But right now, Nikhil's dressed as if he's going to a wedding, but he's not at a wedding. Neither are we. Gulati also looks like he's headed for a reception. I actually do have to head for a reception, but I'm held hostage by these guys. I'm running late for that. But because work comes first, the dugout comes first. Here we are talking cricket as you would expect four men to, wherever they are together. Sorry about the misogynistic joke, but yeah, you do end up.
There was a comment when we went live. We were unsuccessful at that because of no internet connection. There was a live comment that came. Now look at these guys, they're at a wedding, still talking cricket, men will be men. But we are not at a wedding, we are at a function. Yes, but we are talking cricket, and even though I had to do a Bollywood session today here, but all I was doing throughout the day, even before the session, was following the match, watching the videos, following what is happening live. And I could not be with you with the post-match show, so I was itching that maybe in the dugout we'll have the chance to express myself. Dugout is also not happening live, so we thought, okay, we'll do deferred, but we will still bring the dugout.
This is a deferred life to a deferred life.
5 times deferred life. Okay, since we'll do a short one today, we are bound by time
And battery.
and battery, and everyone is very excited to go to the Vishal Bhardwaj session. The Tamanna Bhatia session is over. Have you seen my selfie?
You didn't show it.
I'll show it.
Will it be up on Sports Today?
We'll put it on sports. The session will be up.
The questions that we discussed yesterday.
Yeah, some of them I asked.
Some,
There was other people also. Jimmy Shergill was there in that session.
but the center of attraction was Tamanna
No,
Bhatia.
do you know that other guy, Avinash Tiwari? My
Yeah.
God, what fan following!
Yeah.
Just as Tamanna Bhatia had fan following from the male counterparts, that Avinash Tiwari, women going gaga over him, crazy. Anyway, getting back to the match, so we're going to have some pointed, specific questions. Let's start with our title today is India favorite to win the Perth Test match. We say it after day one. Is it true? If they are, by how much? Or they are not favorite at all? Who wants to start first? Shashwat has the
I'll
mic.
start because I have the mic. According to me, it's
When
60.
did that become a fundamental right?
Because I had it in my hand. But anyways,
You go second.
yeah. 60-40 according to me in favor of India. A very big reason for not going 70-30 as of now is that even after a better batting performance by India as compared to Australia, I still think that Australian batters still give more confidence to me because of reason number one being that the home conditions for them. Secondly, I think they looked really out of sorts. The very big reason for that wasn't that they batted very terribly, it was how Jasprit Bumrah bowled. Firstly that. Secondly, I am not sure today Australia are in such a condition. India, even after scoring 150, are ahead in the game. The only problem is that if Indian batters again have a collapse and are not able to put on a decent enough total on the board for Australia to chase, and it's a chaseable total. If it's a fightable total, if Australia can chase it, then I'm not pretty sure if Jasprit Bumrah again can replicate what he did today.
So I have counter question. So you are saying that when it comes to Australia,
Yeah.
they will not replicate their poor performance. But when it comes to India, Jasprit Bumrah cannot replicate his performance. Why can't it be the other way around?
Because I'll tell you why. Because it can't be the other way. Because here it's just one person who we are banking on. There still, even like I mentioned, Australian batters still give me much more confidence because firstly they took on Harshit Rana really well. The dismissal of Travis Head was absolutely brilliant. But apart from that he went for over 4 an economy of over 4.
Indians took apart Cummins as well.
Yeah.
So then you don't look at it. So India will Australian batting, which is right now struggling, is giving you more confidence.
Because first home conditions according to me
So
for
home
them.
condition was first innings also.
But again just one person was able to run through them.
So what?
Yeah.
In fact, on the contrary, India had multiple batters that gave me confidence. KL Rahul, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Rishabh Pant, multiple batters giving you confidence. Not one Australian batter. That Labus Kakne had a drop catch also. After that, played 30 more balls and made one more run.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But still, I'm keeping India.
Just because
60-40.
KL got runs today, you
No,
want
no,
to say?
no. 60-40. I'm still keeping
Achha.
India way ahead. 60-40
Okay.
according to me. But the only thing is that if Indian batters do not give Australia a total of in excess of 250, then I think it will again start to come. The percentage for India will start to drop for me.
Okay. So I'm going to go with the 55 in favor of India and Australia obviously 45. I think India to reduce Australia to 67 for 7. I think it's an exemplary effort by the bowlers led by obviously your skipper Bumrah. The only point where I feel that India should not try to overdo things. I think when they come out to bat, it should not really be about the fact that you're basically reliant on just one batter to get the job done. I think it should really be about those team contributions of the top 7 or the top 8. If maybe 4 or 5 of the batters can get about 30 or 35 odd each, I think that should be fine for India. But that said, I think they will have to restrict them to say maybe about 80 or 85 odd, so that you can garner a good 60 or 70 odd run lead. So I think that's where I think India is still ahead, but then it all relies on your batting. Remember, in 2021 when you toured Australia, when you won the series 2-1 in the Adelaide Test, you had a first innings lead of 50, and then we all know what happened. That's the only thing that India would have to avoid.
Yeah, 36, but 36 all out Australia can be. Right now, Australia look like a team that can be 36 more than India, but I know, of course, things change. That's why it's a test match. It is of 2 innings. That's why teams make a turnaround. If whatever happens in the first inning was to decide a test match, then there was no point having second inning.
True.
Yes, Mr. Ahuja.
The way I look at it, again, I give India a slight edge. There's no doubt that India have done well, that despite them losing the first 2 sessions, I would say there's only one team that dominated the first 2 sessions. India have done exceedingly well to have enjoyed this little lead that I think they had a slender edge. I feel India have at the moment, and that just tells you how much they dominated in the final session of play. That India, percentage wise, I'm giving India 55. While 67 for 7 should ideally be, tempting me to give a little more in terms of, more in favor of India. But I'm not saying that because of my reservations with the Indian batting. And that is something I can't forget, because I know just one team that has a wretched record of a 36 and a 46 in recent times. So...
Let me reverse the question.
And I'm also taking the pitch into consideration. They are saying while teams batting first have always won here at Perth. However, the thing is, this time around the conditions are slightly different. You may not have those cracks develop for the 4th innings as you've seen in the past. So
Sure.
I'm accounting for that as well.
Sure.
So if I'm saying if it doesn't become vicious,
Cracks have got nothing. See, the pitch is only in Perth gets faster. So batting last would anyway be troublesome. Crack or no crack. My only point is, if I were to reverse this situation, Australia get 150, India 67 for 7. Are you still saying 55-45?
I'm going 65-35.
Why? Why this?
Again, there's limited confidence after a series defeat that I have.
Okay.
And these are hostile conditions. Yes, I've managed to do well. Let's say the first 2 sessions, but again I lost things. If I'm just reversing the situation, if I'm India, I think I'm losing confidence much more than Australia would back themselves in this position.
See, I'm not looking at it just India or Australia. I'm just putting that aside. I'm just looking at the match situation. And if a team right now, like India, they've got Australia at 67 for 7, and if they were to get the remaining 3 wickets for 13 runs, that will be, I'm extrapolating it, it's just par for the course. I'm not asking for anything too much, right? Just looking at the trend. 3 wickets for 13 should be the norm. So 80 runs is what Australia get to. That's a 70 run lead for India. That's massive in a pitch. Massive on this pitch. If India, even if they have another below par performance and get you 130, you get 200. Australia not chasing it down there. Not chasing it down.
I actually
Bumrah
think you
has
need 250 to be,
no, see, that way though there's no end. 300,
there may not
400.
be. I think because again, am I expecting a horror show again from Australia in the second innings? Perhaps not.
There is going to be a horror show from there is going to be a horror show from both teams. There's a reason, which is what we spent time discussing in the lead up. The pitches in Australia are changing. There is a reason that South Africa-Australia test match finished in 2 days. There is a reason for that. Things are changing. Interesting. Why I'm saying, you just heard the quote of Nitish Kumar Reddy come out and say that what he experienced here is not very different to what he experienced in MCG. So what I'm trying to say is be mindful of the fact that Australia have changed their pitches a lot, and I think this will be a low-scoring test match. I think players will be nicely tucked into bed, comfortable come the auction day, and they'll sit, relax, look at the auction, because either way you're going to be having a result by that time. For all you know, on day 2 as well, you might just get the result. 2.5 days might be enough. 3 days you don't have to go. So both teams are going to have collapse. I think it's going to be very tough here for anyone to get runs. Even someone who was as flawless and disciplined like KL Rahul struggled today. So if you look at the situation now, if India are getting a 70-run lead, which seems very realistic, I'm not even asking for the moon. From there on, it's a 70-30 game.
So
if India got a 70-run lead, 70-30 in India's favour. If India don't win it from there, it's almost shooting themselves in the foot.
So you're saying 17 wickets on day 1, you're attributing that to perhaps just the conditions
Yes,
and
I
good
was-
bowling, or maybe just not good enough batting?
No. I'm no.
From both sides?
No, I think it's tough conditions. I was just looking at some data in terms of seam movement. It is one of the highest that you've seen in the last few games. There's a reason that every batting lineup is struggling. There is a reason that players, good, bad, in good form, bad form, whatever, have struggled so much. I think it's going to be a low-scoring test match. I don't think, yes, batters could have done better. There's always scope for that. But I don't think this is going to be a test match where you will get one guy, dig his heels in, get you 100, get you out. I doubt this is going to be that test match. If this is not that test match, then 70-run lead first innings is worth its weight in gold. And I think India managed it. Whether it's by Jasprit Bumrah, XYZ, whatever, I mean, it'll be Jasprit Bumrah back again. He may not pick up these many wickets, but I'm sure he's going to be back again in the second innings, picking a few wickets.
I see this I see this the way when there was a time when Indian team went with ranked turners, and at that time also India played on the fact that who will be worse on a ranked turner, and I think Australia is also sort of trying to do the same thing. They are giving absolutely fast, pacey wickets. They know it's not going to be high scoring, and I think it's a conscious decision they have taken. And what I feel is it's not wrong versus India, because they know that if leading up to the series, if we take out today's day, more vulnerable is the Indian batting lineup. If we just take out today's day, seeing what Australia has done, apart from that, what I'm trying to get to is that who, according to you, gives you that sort of confidence to run through over the Australian team
it's
again?
very interesting. I would have been sitting on the fence before this test match start. Interestingly, you should listen to Ricky Ponting's comments, who came in under a lot of fire from Gautam Gambhir. But Ricky Ponting, I was listening on Channel 7, I think he said, if you ask me right now, both batting teams in trouble, but I think Australia, this is before this innings, but he thinks I have less confidence on the Australian batting lineup than India. So very interesting from which perspective you're looking at. You may think less confidence in India, and just on that point that India create those turners to ensure that gadda you are making for another team and you end up falling. I don't think the fact that you said Australia have prepared these pitches because they think Indian batting is more vulnerable, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the right call. Just as India made a mistake by thinking exactly on those lines, and in the end allowed the opposition spinners to come into it, and you lost. I think it's exactly that Australia have done.
Exactly that.
So then that doesn't mean it's a right decision.
Yeah, it doesn't
so
mean.
Maybe,
but that has given. Even when India was winning at that point, we often used to talk about this, that this is not the right approach. But still,
Yes,
India was winning.
But the same mistake
Here
Australia
also,
is doing.
No, but India was still winning. That's what I'm trying to
But
say.
India lost to New Zealand.
India lost after a very, very long time. It
had to
took
happen.
too
It
many
was a
years.
disaster.
Once it had to happen,
It
but
was-
Australia so soon.
No,
See, because they've taken a very conscious decision. I remember Pakistan series also beat the West Indies series. This is the nature of the wickets that they've
Agreed.
started to sort of go on to.
So just as you changed that nature of wicket and got the results, and then there was a reality check. For all you know, this could be a reality check for the Australian team.
Correct.
That you've gone this way. I'll tell you why I say that. Assuming this was the Perth pitch of just before the last year, before that, if you saw, the first inning total was averaging around 420, 430, right? I'm saying if you had gone on that pitch, I would have actually fancied Australian bowlers more, because that's where the experience of a
Skill in-
Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins would have come into play. They would have still found, you would have had Indian batters get run, but they would have still found a way to crack through the defense of an Indian batting. Maybe in India, other than Jasprit Bumrah, nobody else. Maybe a Siraj, who's done well now, may not have been able to do it on a pitch like that.
Like we
Nitish
make
Reddy-
normal spinners look very good in India.
Exactly. So
The
I
same
think
thing.
they've made a mistake on that.
Both of you, I think, saying that what this has done is the conditions have empowered the opposition a little more, as it wouldn't have if you stuck with convention.
Yeah.
What we talk about India in
Because
India,
I
the
think
same
other
thing.
than Bumrah, yes, Siraj did well today. Yes, Harshit Rana did. Yes, but I just feel that it is primarily down to the conditions you gave them. You go back to the old Australian pitches. See, again, it's why I'm saying it's tough. Again, batting could have been better, but you saw, I told you, there's data there that suggested there was that extra deviation, the ball moving, in the way it was doing. I think they're in a bit of a thick soup, but right now, still early days. We'll try and answer a few questions related to the match. The dismissal of the day, 17 wickets fell. Dismissal of the day for you, Harshit can start on this one quickly.
I'm going to sound a little biased, but I love myself a bit. So Harshit Rana's wicket off Travis Head. I think, again, on debut, that's the kind of wicket that really lifts you up. And India's tail was up after you got Travis Head, somebody who's taken the World Cup from you, somebody who's taken the World Test Championship away from you. In that moment, if India needed like a sucker punch, they got it, and it was thanks to the beautiful delivery. We just straightened, held its line. There was a little bit of movement in the right channel. Could the batter have done better? Maybe not, because it was really a wicket-taking delivery. I felt so kudos to Harshit on his debut, and yeah, that for me was the dismissal that caught my eye the most.
I think just more than the dismissal, I think it's about the setup for me. For me personally, I think Harshit Rana's dismissal was the dismissal of the day, but I wasn't able to see anything from Harshit Rana before that or after that.
No, you have to pick a dismissal.
One, but I'm still going to go with Steve Smith's dismissal
That's fine.
against
Sure, okay.
Jasprit Bumrah. The reason being that I think the two things. Firstly, just because there were there was so much talk about the pitch. Steve Smith was expecting that a back of length delivery, a little short pitch delivery to have a welcome against a Jasprit Bumrah. Secondly, the way Jasprit up pitch ball, it wasn't just that it was a Yorker or something. It was exploiting the weakness of Steve Smith, and not just exploiting it with perfection. First delivery, that feet are not going to move that way. This is a weakness. He needed to be spot on, because if he would not have been spot on, Smith would have been ready for it in the upcoming delivery. So that with that accuracy, I think that was absolutely amazing. Just because we are talking about dismissals, one more of Usman Khwaja, that is also the one I really liked, because Bumrah was constantly bowling on the fourth stump. He got rid of many batters on the fourth stump. He saw how Usman Khwaja is countering that. He was shuffling much more, but what he did was immediately on the very next delivery, he went on with it's the same kind of precision like he did with Smith. Absolutely on point. He went on the fifth stump, and he got Usman Khwaja out then.
One rule, only one dismissal, unlike Shashwat.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So, my favorite dismissal was Josh Hazelwood getting the better of Virat Kohli. I think that was one of the best deliveries of India's innings, to be very honest, because that really, hurried onto him a lot. There was a steep bounce, something that we did not really, witness in any of the previous deliveries that Hazelwood had delivered to Kohli or any of the other batters. I think had it been for any batter, on that particular occasion, Kohli, Rohit, or anyone for that matter, Devdutt Padikkal, I think it would have been very difficult to negotiate. That's where I feel that bounce, hurried onto him, and Kohli had no answer to it, and I think that was one of the best deliveries of the day.
My question to you, why is it that Virat Kohli only gets the best ball of the match every time?
No, it's not just with Virat Kohli. I think it's happened with KL Rahul in the past also. It's happened with Rohit Sharma in the past also. But then sometimes I think when it rains, it pours. That's the point. So when you are in bad form, sometimes bat can go on to get to worse.
KL Rahul almost every time gets this way only out. Whenever overseas, this is how he gets out.
But today I have to
time.
say one thing, that KL looked one of the most assured Indian
Yeah,
batters.
he definitely did.
No. He did not look the most assured Indian batter. He looked the most assured batter on the day. Period. For all Australian, all Indian batters, the only one who knew how to play. I'm sorry, taking nothing away from Nitish Reddy, who's the highest run getter, but he got those runs because I think Australia really allowed that Nathan Lyon spell to come in. I think they took the foot off the pedal, allowed him to get those initial runs. Once the fast bowlers came, you saw that they could have got him had Khwaja caught him in that earlier catch, but then later stuffed him
Rishabh
out
Pant
as well.
also.
Pant, yes, Pant, but that's what I'm saying. Pant as well. Alongside it. But all I'm saying is that with Pant, I knew anytime the dismissal could come. At least I thought that. But with when it comes to KL Rahul, the only one who knew how to do, exactly what a Labuschagne was trying to achieve, KL had achieved it. Whether he was out not, that's another debate. We've had multiple debates on that on Sports Today. You can check out multiple videos. Coming back to my dismissal, I think ball of the match, Harshit Rana. Nothing more to add. But the dismissal I'll talk about is the Hazelwood dismissal, because I think people are just talking about how, Virat made a mistake as to how he could have played. He was batting way out of the crease, he had gone on his back foot. People are only looking at it from Virat Kohli's point of view. I'm actually looking at it from Hazelwood's point of view. If you look at that, Hazelwood was trying to bowl that delivery earlier, which did not bounce, and I was surprised that even the broadcaster said that, listen, same delivery, different bounce is out. No, he actually pulled his length back. He realized that he's standing so much outside the crease, so if I have to go in that uncertain area, I'll have to pull my length back. He pulled it, got him out. So brilliantly done by Josh Hazelwood. If Virat had a plan, he came up with his own plan. Okay, going back to the toss.
But
now.
I just talking about that plan a little bit more. I didn't understand the plan. See, you come out of the crease, you're standing out of the crease. That's to counter.
Whose plan you didn't understand? I'm confused.
Virat's,
Hazelwood or
Virat's.
Achha, okay, Virat.
You stand out of the crease to counter swing, but swing wasn't on offer. It was the bounce to see, because it's absolutely contrary. That is something you would not do on a bouncy pitch. So do you think that swing?
Even I see. I'll tell you why. I am just trying to get. I agree with you that that's not the right way to have approached it.
That's actually the opposite.
Yeah, I think what Virat is trying to do is that he's channelizing his old Virat. What was the old Virat? That you're in trouble. You're a cage lion, you will come back fighting.
Yeah.
So fighting fire with fire. Yeah. I think that's what he tried to do, even though his straight punch looked really nice, all of that. But I just thought that he's come with this attitude, I'll fight fire with fire. Whereas on this pitch, the attitude should have been, was forget what my form is, forget everything. Let me just play to the merit of the ball. Let's see how I build on. Let's see where I can go to. Let me get to a 15. Let me get it to a 30, 40, whatever I build up. But I think came to stamp his authority.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that
did you try?
One other thing, I noticed about Virat, which is
fielding,
which is which is very good. He was almost taking an off stump guard, so he was standing between middle and off, and then his initial movement is also to the off. So he's literally playing on the off stump, but I think he was trying to eliminate that outside the off stump corridor. But then they got him with the bounce.
In fact, just one thing that I sort of saw the same thing. We talked about this during the post match show also. Trying to be the old Virat, I think I saw shades of that in the fielding also, and I think that was a very big reason of the drop catch too. Maybe he's not the same Virat anymore and doesn't need to be, because that overexcitement, trying to sort of stamp your authority. See, because the catch
I'm not reading too much.
No, I'm
can happen to anybody.
I'm not reading. The reason he had caught it was in the spur of the moment. He wanted to sort of celebrate, which I thought it according to me was a little odd, if I could say that.
Yeah, I think that thing you're talking about, having his stance at middle and off, I think this is something that Ravi Shastri also told him during the 2014 BGT when he had struggled on the England tour. That why don't you, stand, at middle and then try to, just maybe just stand a step outside the crease also. That fetched him a lot of runs in that BGT. Whether that's really going to help him in this tour or not, I'm not really sure about it, because it's not just about, I think, being confident or taking that stance. I think at a personal level, what I'm feeling is that his reflexes have really gotten a little slow, and his bad form is adding on to that.
The catch bit, because it was mentioned again, to me it was okay, because I've seen Virat miss dollies in the past as well. Yes, he's construed and he's looked at, and he is in fact that speedy fielder, reliable fielder, but not always the safest pair of hands. You've seen in the IPL as well him drop absolute dollies when he's had to cover his face with his own cap, and he has missed out on chances earlier in the past as well. So I think that was just another chapter.
Okay, anyone now, what do you have to say about the toss, because the jury was out, now in hindsight, right call?
Because again, whenever you're building up, especially to a test match, any form of the game, in fact, you're always looking at the past records, how the pitch has behaved in the past, and it did have that hardness as well, which is often good to bat on to start with. So yes, there was a little bit of grass left, and the Australians probably did that consciously. But was it the wrong decision? Don't think so. It was the absolute right decision. Again, what had happened in Bangalore as well was the right decision, and I don't quite think, even though Rohit Sharma said it twice since then, that it was an error of judgment. Don't think so. You just had to chin up and say, no, 1 hour we weren't good enough, 1.5 hours we weren't good enough. New Zealand showed how you to bat. Today as well felt the same.
Yeah, I think nothing wrong with the call of the toss. I think Bumrah really did really made the right decision. I think it's up to the batters, and I think it's just twice in the last 2 months that they have failed to step up.
I think absolutely right. Nothing wrong with that. Batting is your weaker suit. In that sense, you do not want runs on the board. If you're bowling first, you would have had runs on the board. You had to go after them. So I think being the smart decision was to.
I'll just make it. I won't add anything. 4 out of 4. I don't think is a wrong call. Right call. Last bit of a short and sweet dugout. Any second thoughts on the selection? Because I'm getting a lot of abuse on social media, talking about Harshit Rana adversely and Nitish Kumar Reddy, Washington Sundar, so on and so forth. And now that India have the upper hand, a lot of people saying, see, ज़्यादा बोल रहे थे selection, see this and that. But in hindsight, okay with selection, or you're happy to be proven wrong?
Yeah. No, according to me, I'm still going to stick to what I said previously also, even after Nitish Kumar Reddy has scored runs and all of these things, because the logic for which you have played Nitish Kumar Reddy, that still hasn't been fulfilled. So if he scored runs, yeah, that's great. Even Jasprit Bumrah could have scored runs. So I'm not taking anything away from Nitish Kumar Reddy.
How can you compare Jasprit Bumrah as a batter to Nitish Reddy the batter?
I'm not comparing them as a batter. I'm saying the role for which he was got into the team, that hasn't been
He's an all-rounder. He's done half his job.
But no. But then how do you know if there would have been a Sarfaraz, he would have scored even more runs?
That's absolutely fine. But Sarfaraz is not an all-rounder.
That means then bowling, you need to take wickets also, in the second innings. Moving
Okay.
In fact, I feel that Nitish Kumar Reddy will be underbowled. I don't think he'll hardly get any ball. He'll be a low-scoring game. So underbowled. Whether his batting, as I said again, he got runs because he got lucky with Nathan Lyon. I don't think they'll make the same mistake with him again. Like they did with Washington, he came in, they got the fast bowler to attack him. I think they'll do that with him. If he goes on to score runs, then in that scenario as well, salute to him. But if he does not, you're not going to be using him as the bowler, which is why I think you should have either played a fast bowler, and even for Harshit Rana, I would have still gone with someone like.
And you played Washington Sundar for the batting. He did not contribute. So
yeah.
I think only one change that I would have wanted earlier. Akashdeep ahead of Mohammad Siraj, but then now that Siraj has done well in the second innings, so credit where due, and hats off to Bumrah for sticking with Siraj.
Yeah, I think selections I'll still have some questions about. Everyone for that matter. Padikkal, I know I picked up Rana's wicket as one of the best, but even though I think you primarily were looking at his batting ability, which is why you chose him. And you didn't have enough faith in your batting, which is why you wanted somebody who could bat a bit as well. And with Nitish Kumar Reddy as well, maybe an out-and-out fast bowler I would have looked at. So I still have some questions there.
Match going third day?
Partly. A 2.5 day finish. Partly.
Yeah.
Third day, second session finish.
2.5 day finish.
Okay, our apologies, short dugout for you, but we tried our best despite so much adversities to at least get this episode to you. I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow, another day, and back with our analysis. It's going to be a good series, seems like it at the moment. Take care, bye bye, good night, Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Sasyakal, whatever.
Eat your vegetables and don't trouble your mother.
Bye bye.
We'll skip it because we are out.